Episode 96.
Welcome to the Modern Vintage Podcast, the podcast where we take vintage principles and make them modern for today's leading ladies. I'm your host, Miss J.
Hello, leading ladies. Welcome back to the podcast. I've thought long and hard about what I wanted to say in this podcast, and I wanted to get it perfect, and I wanted to get it right. And then I realized that that's probably impossible. So I'm just going to speak from my heart in this episode, and we'll go from there. I'm a Puerto Rican woman, for those of you who are unaware of that fact. I come from an ethnic group that is of mixed race by its nature. Depending upon what part of the island you are from, you will have a larger mix of African or Spaniard or the indigenous population that was called Taino Indian. They referred to the island as Borinquen. So sometimes you'll hear Puerto Rican people refer to themselves as Boricuas, and that is they're acknowledging the indigenous population that is also a part of the mix of their ethnicity. Why is it important that you know my ethnicity? Because I want you to know that that informs my experiences. When I talk to you about diversity, and I talk to you and I encourage you to make sure that you have a visual diet that is inclusive of all bodies, short, tall, fat, round, skinny, fluffy, chubby, fat, whatever you want to say, I assumed that you also understood that I meant a variety of colors, that people of all colors were included in that diverse visual diet. And I don't think I was ever that explicit, and I was remiss in that. I want to make sure that you are aware that I have Afro-Latina family. That's how I got my beautiful curly hair and my beautiful wide nose and my beautiful brown skin. Now, for some of you, you're like, Miss J, why are you telling us that? We don't care. It's not important. I need it to be important to you because I need you to recognize that all of us need to be included in the definition of beautiful. And to say that we are colorblind is to not recognize the women standing in front of us. Whether she's Asian, whether she's black, whether she's Puerto Rican, whether she's a mix of all of them, or some of them. To say that we're colorblind is to be blind to the person standing in front of us. And it's not fair. It's not equitable. It's not equal. And in my mind, it's not right. So I need you to see me, to at least practice seeing me as I am, not as you would want me to be. And then if some of you are uncomfortable with this topic, that's okay. Let me be the person you practice recognizing for the ethnicity and the color that she is, and recognizing and seeing that as beautiful. That's important. So that when you see atrocities on the screen, you see black men and women being killed in the street, you don't look away and you don't say things like, I don't see color. No, you acknowledge the person being harmed or hurt in front of you. You can't be blind and also have compassion. They are incongruent with each other. And if this means some of you are no longer going to listen to me, I love you. I understand. Don't email me about your position. This is not a dialogue. This is me preaching at you. And if you're not ready to listen, I love you so much and I understand. And if this is where we part ways, then this is where we part ways. This episode is super important because I want you to take a look at your social media feeds. And I want you to ensure that it includes brown faces, black faces, that it includes Asian women, that it includes a variety of colors and shapes and sizes. You need to normalize different shades of beauty. And if you're only communicating with people that look like you, absorbing pictures of people that look like you and bodies that you idealize, you've missed the whole point of our ongoing conversation. How do you love yourself one eyelash at a time? You recognize that there's beauty all around you. You recognize that other people who don't look like you are beautiful. And I'm not talking about a matter of taste or preference. Don't go there with me on semantics. I'm a lawyer, you're going to lose. If you can't understand the idea that an idealized Western body is not the norm, then the way we correct that, the way that we normalize different bodies and different colors to your brain, is to change your visual diet. Now, a lot of you understand this concept with regard to size. It's no problem for you to get and understand what I'm saying to you in terms of make sure that you have bodies that look like yours in your Instagram and your Facebook feeds. Don't just have Fitspo skinny women who have orthorexia. So that when you look at your own body, you're not dismayed by what you see. You can learn to love it by normalizing normal bodies that are not photoshopped. A lot of you understand this concept. You're like, they're with me. Yes, rah, sister. Those of you who are feminists, you totally understand the concept of patriarchy, of misogyny. You are there with me, rah, sister. The same concept applies to race. There are things that we have been socialized to accept as idealized forms of beauty. We have a Eurocentric concept of what is beautiful in this country, in most countries around the world. And the way we normalize that everyone is beautiful, including ourselves, is we also change our visual diet. Think of who you're following. Do they include women that look like you? That look like your brown and black sisters? Or is it only one idealized body type? It is only one idealized Eurocentric standard of beauty. I'm challenging you. And I want you to rise to the occasion, just like I challenged you during COVID and I said, I understand you putting on your brave face and taking a moment to take it off. We talked about routines. I'm challenging you again. It's time to rise again to the challenge. You talk about wanting to stand with your sisters and loving on your sisters, and you know my mission is to make sure that every daughter of God is looked after and that she is dressed to her best so that she can go fulfill her purpose in the world. I mean all my sisters, not just some of them. So if you are on this mission with me and you believe confident women create legacies and you want to leave behind a legacy of confidence for the next generation and you want room at the table for all women like I do, then I'm challenging you to check yourself, check your feeds, and do better. And that's not just for you, that's for me too. I can do better. And I will. That is your mission, not just this week, not just this month, not just this year. This is our lifetime mission as leading ladies to stand up for all the ladies, to find beauty in all the ladies. And where we find ashes, we will trade those ashes for beauty. And it starts with us. It starts with the ripple effect of something as small as liking the pictures of women of diverse colors when you look at ads on Instagram. When you look at brands like lingerie and dresses and clothing and shoes. Are you liking the pictures that include women of color? Are you liking and following women of color? Think about this. I challenge you. And if you need coaching on this, I'm available. judithcaton.com/scheduler. Put yourself on my schedule. Sometimes I get so fired up that I want to cry. You don't need my tears right now. You need my challenge. So I challenge you. Let's all do better. The next generation is counting on us and they are watching us. Let's be real women of legacy by making sure all the women rise with us. Miss J out.
Thank you for listening. I hope you loved today's show. If you're a leading lady with gumption and moxie and you're ready to get stylish, I recommend you go to judithgaton.com, judithgaton.com. Once you are on the website, you can access my free style class just for leading ladies. All right, let's get it. Miss J out.